Yo, what's up guys? It's Brent here and today we're gonna be looking at a song today called Flowers by Miley Cyrus. It's been a while actually since this song has dropped. I haven't reacted to the original music video yet. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. In the meantime, I actually found this version called the Backyard Sessions and I figured I might as well just do something different for y'all. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the video and see how this goes. Alright.
We were good, we were gold, kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't, built a home and watched it burn. I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to lie, started to cry and then remembered I can buy myself flowers. Cherry red, match the roses that you left. No remorse, no regrets, I forgive every word you said. I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to lie, started to cry but then remembered I can buy myself.
Oh, that's so sick, dude. But she like pulls out for that one.
Talk to myself for hours. See things you don't understand.
Man's brand is starting to know. Live strings, dude. That's what I sound.
Yeah, I can love me better than you can.
She's having fun. Man, that
started to cry,
vocal
remembered
texture.
I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, see things you don't understand, but you never will. I can take myself dancing, yeah, I can hold my own hand, yeah, I can love me better than, yeah, I can love me better than you can. Oh, then you can.
Sick. Man, that was sick. What I love about this song, first of all, is just the fact that it's just a straight up, four on the floor, feel good pop song. I feel like every time an artist does this, like a big artist does it, feels so right for some reason. I don't know how to explain it. If you think back at like her previous song, I think she did it with, who did she do it with? Didn't she do one song with Dua Lipa? What was that song called? Prisoner. Yeah. Prisoner. Didn't really pop off as much, at least not where I am. But Midnight Sky is a pretty sick song, and Flowers obviously has done bits. I've seen like the song a little bit on like reels and stories and Instagram and basically all that shit. Alright, let's dive into the song, right? So what I love about this song, couple of things, right? First of all, the best thing about this song is that there are a set number of elements in the song: drums, bass, Rhodes, some guitar, backing vocals, strings, and there's one special thing which I'll talk about at the end. So I brought the keyboard out just now just to show you guys like a few things. Starting with this intro bit. And that's just basically a guitar through like some delay and stuff, like a tape delay I think or something. Maybe a bit of tremolo, that's what I can hear. Let me know if you guys hear something else.
We were good, we were gold, kind of dream that can't be sold.
Yeah, so here, like what I hear is, first of all, the main driving factor of this particular song and most of these like dancey pop songs is the bass line, right? And this song is no exception. So if you listen to the bass right now, it's got like this very nice bottom end to it without sounding too bright, which is what I like. Got a lot of character and it's not too bright. That's one factor. The other thing is that there's a Rhodes happening and it feels like the Rhodes is like either filtered or the high end has been cut off or whatever. So it's almost like, you know, it sounds like this is what a normal Rhodes sounds like. But it feels like more, you know, if I take the filter down right now. You know what I mean? Like it's a little darker. I feel like that's a very intentional thing that they've done. The reason is that they want to give a lot of space for the vocal, right? So the vocals high end is still very much intact, right? So essentially you just have like this low bass and you have this Rhodes, but there's nothing in the high frequencies for the first verse, right? So let's listen back to this and you can hear the vocal really shine.
We were good, we were gold, kind of dream that can't be sold. We were right till we weren't, built a home and watched it burn. I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to lie, started to cry and then remembered
The keys are doing a little bit, but the bass has a lot of movement going on. It's like you know, it's got like these things happening throughout. That's really giving the song like its own sort of pocket, you know. Before the drums even come in, just this bass and the Rhodes is enough to be a verse. You know what I mean? You have the low end, you have the keys, you have a little bit of movement, you have the vocal. All your elements are covered. That's the verse. Really cool.
I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to lie, started to cry and
That's a
then
sick chord.
remembered.
That's an E7, I think. The E7 in the key of A minor is basically just a dominant chord that wants to resolve to A minor. Very typical thing to do in like, especially in minor keys. Gives it a lot of tension.
Started to cry and then remembered I can buy myself flowers.
That right there is so cool and it happens throughout the song. Essentially what they're doing is, in order to make something feel bigger, they're taking something just before it away. Right? So you take the downbeat out, which is what people expect, and in exchange you get this very cool contrast where it's like it's building up to something and then it just disappears and you're like, yo, what's going on? And immediately after that you're straight in the beat. Also notice there's no crash at all. It's like as if they had the project file open and they just cut that little section out and that was it. Very, very cool.
Started to cry and then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. Yeah, I can take myself.
Yeah, this is sick. The strings come in halfway through, obviously, as you just heard. The guitars are doing this really cool counter melody to what the bass is doing, right? So the bass is going tum 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 tum. It's all on the downbeat versus the guitar, which is doing like a tum 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 tum. Right? So it's anticipated. So it's giving this pocket, and then also that's happening on the right side if you're listening on a pair of headphones or a pair of speakers or whatever. On the left side, to complement that, you have this Rhodes part, which is basically just hitting the anticipations. It's not following the bass at all. It's just doing its own thing. But it's always on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you know what I mean? It's capturing all the anticipations, and both of those things together are really preparing the groove. So while the bass and the kick drum and the snare are really holding it down, these two elements are adding that movement for the chorus.
Talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. Yeah, I can take myself dancing. Yeah,
That string line is a great texture on top.
Yeah, I can love me better than
Before we go to the next part, I think this is really cool. Again, this is just the use of contrast, right? I think this whole song is a great example of how to use contrast, because we just talked about how you can use silence to contrast bigger sections. Another thing that they're doing, which I found very interesting, is if you listen to this chorus, there's no backing vocals happening. In fact, they don't come in right up until this part now, which is so cool, because even later in the song, as you'll hear, there won't be any backing vocals in the chorus at all. It only comes in after the chorus, which makes this part, because of the contrast, makes this part the hook. And you'll notice Miley doesn't even sing this part. It's just the backing vocals.
Paint my nails, cherry red, match the roses that you left.
In the second verse now, we have a kick drum that's introduced again. The previous parts are still there, right? You got the bass going, which is just driving the song, and you got the Rhodes happening, but you also have this kick drum now, and you also have the addition of the backing vocals in the verse. So you can hear a couple of accents here and there. So
Red, match the roses that you left. No remorse, no regrets. I forgive every word you said. I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to lie. Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers.
that is so sick.
Write my name
So now the
in
strings have
sand.
entered immediately. Right, the strings before were coming in the second half, now they're in immediately. So every section you can see that the song is building, and this is very typical of all songs. There's always some movement or something that's building or something that's dropping. It's never the same thing twice ever. You only have 3 minutes to basically have your listeners' attention, so you have to give them everything in that one sitting. So as you heard, backing vocals are happening in the pre-chorus. There's also this cool drum fill that happens, which matches the build-up of the Rhodes this time.
Then remembered I can
Clean fill, no extra bells and whistles required, right? Just the because that's exactly what the Rhodes is doing on the left, and it matches perfectly. Listen again.
but then remembered I can buy myself flowers.
Straight in.
Write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours. Say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing. Yeah, I can hold my own hand. Yeah, I can love me better than you can.
There you go again. Backing vocals only in this hook and not in the second chorus.
I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to fight. Started to cry, remembered I
Right, so here there's a slightly different drum fill, but something more that I want you to note is that basically from here,
didn't want to lie. Started to cry and then remembered
so this is the last time that the bass didn't have any movement, right? So,
I started to cry and then remembered
and the only other time it doesn't,
I didn't want to leave you, I didn't want to fight. Started to cry, remembered I
again, it's just bass, Rhodes and drums. There's no other added element right now, and that's what's so cool, right? It's just you just use movement and you use contrast of movement to define a section, right? This is like a small little bridge thing or whatever, or pre-chorus, you could call it whatever you want to call it. But what's so cool about it is this is the only time where it completely drops in energy, right? Drums are out and the bass is just holding the chords down, and that's it. That's the section.
I can buy myself flowers. Write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours. See things you don't.
Alright, can anyone guess what the special element is that I was talking about earlier in the video? Because I can hear it right now. And if you can't, listen again. I'll play the other choruses first.
Write my name in the sand.
This is one chorus, but the other chorus, I think this is it.
Talk to myself for hours. Say things you don't
Alright, now I'm gonna play this one.
understand in the sand. Talk to
You hear it?
myself for hours. Say things you don't understand, but you never will.
tambourine, dude. Tambourine is the one. It's every producer's go-to, I think, for just elevating a section and giving it more energy, giving it more movement. And it's such a simple thing to add to any song, and this is no exception. You literally have the exact same arrangement apart from this tambourine that's happening and like adding this extra layer of movement. You also have the strings doing something a little different as far as like the harmonies and everything, if you listen closely.
I can take myself dancing. Yeah.
Still no backing vocals though.
Yeah, I can love me better than. Yeah, I can love me better than.
Nice little tag at the end.
You can.
Back with the hook.
Then you can.
Clean ending, man. Clean ending. I think this is a great example of just using what you have and not overdoing it. There are no crazy synths happening in the song. There's no extra, I don't know, horns or like, you know, they could do anything they wanted to, essentially. The world was their oyster, but they chose to use a fixed number of instruments. And I think that's what's so cool about like professional producers who work on stuff like this, right? Is that there's so much of intention and so much of clarity of thought when it comes to this is what the song needs and that's it. Very, very smart ideas, as we just discussed. If you have anything that you heard that I may have missed or maybe I'm just not aware of, and you'd like to share it with everyone, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to know what you guys want to share. I'm always curious to know like what other people's perspectives are on a song, because music is so subjective, man. Anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape or form, please leave a like on it. Hit the subscribe button as well with the bell notifications on. Also, if you like this video, there's a high possibility you're gonna like this video. So yeah, I'm just gonna hold this position for a while you click that. So click it. You clicked it? I don't think he's clicked it yet. Okay, this is just awkward now. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye. Peace.